Just takes a little effort, we can work it out. These things go hand in hand, know what I'm talking about. But can we have one without the other, one without the other, yeah. One without the other, one without the other, yeah. We made it through the test, yeah. Strengthening love and sex. We made it through the test, strengthening love and sex.
What's going on, everybody? Listen, welcome back to Strengthening Love and Sex, and we are excited. We took a little break, didn't we?
We did. We needed to.
We took a little break. You know, Easter happened, and it was a wonderful Easter. Took a little break, but we're back with something extra special. We got some guests all the way from Birmingham, Alabama. Y'all, this couple has taken social media by storm. They are out there. They out there. Back in 2020, they went viral with what they call blended and winning. They wanted to talk about how they were making their marriage work, bringing children together, and they are amazing. They have almost 8 million followers on social media, and their purpose and goal in life is just to help people make marriages work. And we're going to talk about how to give CPR to your marriage. And so I am pleased and excited. We are pleased and excited
Absolutely.
To invite our friend. And we got a connection. We're going to talk about how we first met and all that. But we have Joaquin Loper and Stacy Loper. Give them a big hand. Come on. What's up? What's up? Y'all doing all right?
Oh, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Boy, the funniest couple on the internet. I don't know how your wife comes up with all of these jokes, man.
I don't either. I don't either.
But listen, Joaquin, tell us, there's a connection between y'all and us that people may not know about in terms of how did we first come together and meet each other?
Well, it's funny. I actually joined your church in 2006.
Wow.
Yes, while I was dating this beautiful woman.
What?
And we actually ended up getting married at New Direction in 2008.
Wow, that is amazing. We were in the sprung, man. You got sprung on Stacy.
Yep.
You better say it.
You got sprung on me.
Whatever.
So tell us about the blended and winning piece.
Yes,
Why did y'all call it blended and winning?
Blended and winning started at one of the lowest points of our marriage. We were really struggling to know what marriage looked like for us. People don't know this is my wife's third marriage. I'm her third husband. She's my first.
Yeah, I'm an overachiever. Okay. I was going to eventually get it right because I knew I would be a good wife.
And you are. You are.
Amazing wife. However, we were going through some of the hard times and we were struggling with family and, outside influence. And one night we were having a debate with some outside influences. And I just told her, I said, look, we're blended and winning. Don't talk to nobody else. And she said, what do you mean by that? I said, I don't know. I just been getting this thing that we're blended and winning since we all blended family. My wife had our girls prior to me meeting her.
Yeah.
But I said, despite what we're going through, we're winning.
That's
even
awesome.
when it doesn't look like it. So we had to start speaking those things. And that's how it developed. And she was like, why can't I like that? And I said, I like it too. And hence, man, 10, 12 years later now, it's just, man.
Stacey, what was the biggest challenge and the biggest blessing of bringing your families together?
How he was going to come in and discipline our kids, how he was going to be as a father to them, with 2 girls.
Yeah.
This is a man who has military background. If you know his family is very strict. They are very do as I say, and that's how he came off. He came off very stern, very hard. And I think that was the one part that really scared me because as a single mom, I already gone through 2 divorces.
Yeah.
It's like you're coming in and I have girls. That was the hard part. So the hard part was him coming in and being this father figure, but does he really know how to be that?
Yeah.
And that was the thing there. And then now I got to learn how to be his wife.
Yeah.
You know?
Babe, we've seen this a lot in marriage counseling when couples come together with children on either side, that sometimes it's hard for the mother to give into the husband's leadership to say, you can't tell my girls what to do.
Oh my gosh.
Keeping it separate.
How did y'all handle that?
Oh.
No.
Okay, so initially it was tough for me to step outside of that independence of being a single mom. So I went to Joaquin one day after us because this was the thing in our marriage that kept us like this, as opposed to this united front. It kept us as a great divide. And I came to him one day, I said, will you please allow me to help you, father our kids, because they're different. You know, you can't discipline Megan the same way you discipline Morgan. You can't talk to Morgan the same way you talk to Megan. And then you got to also understand me and what I have been in this thing. Megan was 6. Morgan was 2 when Joaquin came into their lives. Yeah. And so now he has Morgan until she, at the age of 2, but you have that 6-year-old who only knows me and her. And now her sister, and now we bringing this man. She used to always hear him, that's my mama. Yeah. That's my mama.
I'll be like, she sure is.
So it was hard. And then, when you talk about those outside influences, of course, we have dads. That's on the outside. Well, we have to parent our way. But then when they go there, they're getting parented a totally different way. So when they come home, now we got to retrain kids.
Oh my God.
That we have 90% of the time.
Yes.
That sound familiar?
Oh, so familiar. Too familiar.
We had, tell them about my son that I had in college, Calvin. We spent time where we were blended. We wasn't winning.
Oh no, we were winning to a degree.
It took a lot of intentionality, but what you say about the different value system that his mama had and what I had in my house, it sometimes clashed. Yeah. And we had to retrain our son every time he would come back to stay with us because our value system
were different.
Yeah. You want to talk about it?
It was difficult on this end trying to be stepmom to a child that I didn't give birth to.
Yeah.
And then I was a new mom, so trying to love our child and just trying to keep it all together and not, I tried to not make favorites and do for him like I would want anyone to do for my child, and it just, the outside influence was overwhelming.
It was
at one point it was like, oh, this is my child. When I tried to have a conversation with her, I was like, you're right, but he's blessed to have 2 mothers. But she didn't see it that way. But anyway,
it takes some grace to be able to do a blended family.
Yes.
And you all have mastered that from what I can see from the outside, and hats off to you for that.
Yes.
You got a new grandchild.
Yes, we got a grandbaby. Oh, honey. And I'm telling you, them influences come back into the picture with the grandkids. Regardless of whether they had any influence at that point. That's a whole other story right there.
So is it true that you love on your grandkids a little bit harder than you do your kids?
I'm going to let him take that one.
What you looking at? It is different. It is different too. And I think it's different I'm going to speak for me, to see my baby have a baby. And to see that I love the way she's being a mom to her child. Yeah. And I see the influences we've had on her as she's mothering her child. And it's heartwarming, man.
And the fact that grandbaby lives with you for the moment.
Oh, yeah.
Your daughter is at home with you and we get to watch her and she gets to lean on us as much as she leans in on us. It's different.
I have a confession.
Different. What's that?
It scares me because I know now all the mistakes I made with our kids. I can see past it now with my grandchild. And it's like, I'm not going to make the same mistakes. So the love is going to be totally different to receive from her. So, yeah.
That's good, because I think a lot of grandparents probably see it that way, is that I made all of these mistakes with my own kids, but now I get a second chance to get it right.
And then sometimes it comes off as being that you're spoiling your grandchildren more than you spoiled the child. But we had conversations with Morgan during her pregnancy about what did she need more from us. And her answer was time.
Wow.
She says, but here's the thing. She says, now I see it differently because I knew in that moment you had to do what you had to do.
Yes, that was her exact words.
Wow. Wow.
Where did y'all fall in the rank with your siblings? Were you the oldest, middle, youngest?
Middle
Middle
of
child.
5.
What about you?
So I guess I would say the middle because I'm the third child. I'm the third oldest.
And you
of
were
4.
I'm the youngest.
the youngest. I'm the oldest.
Wow.
Okay.
I can tell you this: oldest children catch hell.
Tell you what. Hey, you know what?
We get whooped. We get whooped for what the other kids did.
Okay, yes, I would totally agree with you on that.
And so I'm
Yes.
bringing up that dynamic because where you fall in that birth order rank, it determines how you lead and how you show up in other relationships.
It does.
And so you said something key. You said, I noticed some of the mistakes I made raising my children that I want to do different with my grandchildren.
Yes.
I too recognize some of the mistakes. I was probably too hard on my oldest
Yes.
because that's how I was trained and socialized because I'm the oldest of a single mom who raised 3 kids by herself. So I was daddy, I was son, all of that. And so I tried to put that same experience on my boys, and it didn't quite work. You know what I mean?
My wife said something to me during our marriage, Dr. Spencer, that made me cry. It made me reflect, and it made me grow. She said, Joaquin, why do you treat our kids as if they're coming up under the same circumstances we did?
Ooh.
Hallelujah.
And I was like, I said, well, first of all, don't be checking me like that. But she did, and it challenged me.
That's deep.
And I was like,
That's deep.
you're right, because the struggles I grew up with in Decatur, Mississippi were not the same struggles my kids had to grow up with.
That's right.
We were so much more blessed, but it's amazing when you haven't been healed from your own wounds.
Yeah.
How you try to, I ain't gonna say indoctrinate, but you have to be careful not to pour your wounds and your pain out on your kids.
Or your own fears
Yeah.
Oh my God.
and phobias on your kids.
Why you gotta sit back?
Yeah, I'm sorry, but he just fears, the phobias, those, and I think that's what held him back. Well, I
It is.
think
No, it
we
is.
know that's what held Joaquin back for so long from pursuing that passion and that calling that we knew God was calling him to.
And-
We knew it, and he resisted it because of the mindset.
Wow.
That had been poured into him for so long.
Yeah.
And to this day, our uncles always say, like, thank you, Stacy. Like, they'll text me, like, thank you.
For
Like,
pushing.
thank you for changing his
Encouraging
mindset.
him.
Yes.
And I would tell anybody out there, man, challenge your fears.
Yeah.
Challenge your fears. The only way you're gonna get over them and see how you can truly be used is until you just accept your fears and just challenge them.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's
My
dope.
fears still push me to this day. My fear of failure is catapults to a whole nother level. I won't fail because no matter how many times I fail, I'm gonna try again.
My.
And that's just like the acronym of fear, what false evidence appearing real.
Yeah.
So it's not real.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
we think it's real and we treat it as real and it's not.
And it hinders us. We run into a brick wall because of fear,
My God.
because of that false.
And Stacy, you said something that was so profound what you told your husband. You said that we got to quit treating our children as if they are growing up under the same circumstances. Now I want to push in on that a little bit and ask this. Our kids, particularly African American children, have some similar struggles that we grew up in terms of dealing with racism.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And we have been blessed to live better economically than our previous generation. Am I right?
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
How do you instill within your children a sense of survival for some of the shared circumstances we're still dealing with racism, yet the specific challenges that they face haven't been suburbanized? They don't have all of the old struggles we had, but yet they still need some survival skills. How do you create, I always say to my wife, we got to give the boys a false sense of struggle. So that they know that nobody owes them anything.
Anything. Right.
Nobody's gonna give them
them
anything. And I want to prepare them. God has blessed us. We have a nice home. My son brought his line brother's home when he crossed, and I heard this hollering upstairs, "Oh man, this is going!" And I said, "What's going on?" They said, "Jaden didn't tell us y'all had a house like this."
Yes.
And Jaden's like, "What y'all talking about? It's just a house." Because he has no frame of reference. I grew up in a single wide trailer in Route 1, Amsterdam, Kentucky, behind my grandma feeding chickens.
Yeah.
These boys don't know nothing about, struggle, sleeping with your brother's toe in your mouth and all of that.
Yeah.
So my question is, how do you create a sense of struggle even though they didn't grow up under the same circumstances?
We, every year, Thanksgiving and Christmas, stop.
Y'all got something going on there. It's going to come out.
I know why he's looking at me, because I'm telling you, our kids would not have a sense of struggle if it was up to me at all.
Paul, when I first met my wife, we went out, and our 6-year-old daughter, who was at Red Lobster,
Yes.
and I said, well, I'm going to let y'all order yourself. Just see what y'all want to order. My 6-year-old daughter, Megan, said, I would like the Alaskan snow crab. Whoa.
The $30 plate.
Yeah,
For a 6-year-old.
6. I said, hey, babe, well, she always get that. That was my first red flag. I didn't see it. But now, hence, fast forward. Go ahead, sweetie.
Go ahead.
Whatever.
Go back to your answer.
So yes, that's my proper answer here. So every Thanksgiving and Christmas, we take our kids out to different areas of town that we live in, and we show them how blessed they are. We show them that this is not afforded to everybody. Okay, there are people out there that are still struggling to get to where we are, but what hinders them? We always ask our kids, like, what's your why? Like, what do you want to do and what's your why? Because your why is going to help you get there. Okay,
But your why has to be bigger than you.
it has to be bigger than you.
That's good.
Yeah. And we also make them clean out their closet during the season, and everything they can't wear or they don't want anymore, they have to gift it to someone when we go to the neighborhoods.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, we take them back home to where we grew up.
Yep.
And they were like, Daddy, you lived here? Dad lived here.
We take them back to where I live, where Granny lives, and then you look at Granny's house, and you can put Granny's house in our house 3 times. You know, and they look. He said about 4 times, and our kids see that, and they were like, man. Now I'll tell you, the Maddox, who's our 10-year-old son. Then you have Megan and Morgan that are 24 and 20. Okay. It's the 13-year-old that we really have to push into because he comes off extremely privileged. Yeah.
Is this the son y'all had together?
Yes.
Okay.
First one.
This is our first son.
Gotcha.
Yes.
And why is he that way?
And so we have.
Wait a minute. Somebody said something. What you say that?
I wanted to ask him, why is he that way?
Oh. Why is he that way?
Because his mama named Stacy.
That's some of our biggest struggles. I used to always tell her, I said, look, I'm gonna let you be mama, but you gonna let me be daddy.
Yeah. And I had to learn, like, I'm telling y'all, balance is everything in raising kids.
Yes.
Because I can give my kids this false sense of privilege when I know that they have to get out in this world, and that world's gonna tell them no.
Right. Yeah.
And I may not have told them no as much as this world's gonna tell them no.
Yeah.
But then daddy comes in and brings that balance of, like, son, look, everything is not gonna be handed to you.
Yeah.
Right.
You're gonna have to work you're gonna have to work for this.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a problem I have of loving my boys. Like, I'm loving them too much, and then I have to step back when Stacy comes in. It's like, oh no, he needs to do this, this, and this. And in my mind, I'm like, no, he don't.
Doc,
Like, yes, he does.
let me give you a perfect example. So I'm telling. We got some 20-year-olds that are staying with 2 of them, and that's okay.
Yeah.
We got room for them to figure it out, stack their money, because I want them to get their own place eventually. And so we're trying to do the economic thing. Come on in till you figure it out. And so I told my wife not long ago, I said, I think I'm going to give the 2 oldest their cell phone bill and their car insurance. I think it's time. And she was like, no, it ain't time yet. I said, what do you mean? I said, we left home at 18 and didn't look back. Period. Wasn't nobody paying my car payment. Nobody.
Cell phones.
And she's like, no, they need more time. No more time for what?
To get it together.
So Rhonda, I have to, because of how well my husband has done at getting me to understand that, we can't, we do hinder them, like especially our boys.
Yeah. I did acquiesce to one of the bills, but we're gonna give the other one over later.
Yeah.
But it's amazing, Joaquin, that I had to, when I left home, there was no safety net.
None.
You know how the people do the trapeze thing and they have the net to catch them in case they fall? Wasn't no net.
Wasn't none.
What I mean by that is, Mom and Daddy couldn't give me anything.
Right.
They did the best they got. I got my Pell Grant.
Yep.
You know, because I got a grant because Daddy went to Vietnam. But that's about it. I wasn't no call and say, can you put $50? Can you cash out me $50?
Cash out me.
Baby, I might have got some extra food stamps or something, you know, but there was no going back.
Yes.
And I had to sink or swim. And I think this generation, thank God, they have a safety net.
Yeah.
But at the same time, sometimes I gotta be like, I'm gonna remove your safety net, and you're gonna have to make it. But in my mind, I'm like, I could grab you, I could save you if I wanted to, but if I always save you, you're never gonna grow up.
Yes. Am I going to be a crutch?
Yeah.
Am I going to enable you?
Right.
You know, and you have to know the difference. And I thank God for him. I thank God for him giving me that balance to say, okay, I got to take my hands off of it, and you've got to go out there and sink or swim.
Yeah.
You have to. Yeah. But I'm telling you, that is set up. Like, he was so hard on our oldest daughter.
I was.
But I promise you, she was talking to her general manager one day, and her general manager was like, you know, I don't mean to come off all harsh and everything. And she was like, you had never heard my dad talk to me.
And it goes back to that oldest child piece,
does.
right?
It does.
Because I think what happens with the oldest child is that you want to give them a sense of responsibility.
Yes.
You want to make sure you get it right as a parent. This is your first. You're not sure. You really know what you're doing. But you can't let your kid know you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But because she was so stern, it really ends up working out for their good. Because all of my self-discipline that I have now is a result of my mother's discipline on me. And I've learned how to modulate some of that with my kids, and I can't wait till I get my grandkid. I told Rhonda already, I'm giving you a precursor that when I have a grandchild, it's gonna be bad.
It's gonna be bad.
Well,
I'm gonna spoil it rotten.
well, I was trying to talk myself out of it. I'm like,
The entire
I
pregnancy.
said, man, she ain't go, man. Psh. Now when she cry, hey, why she crying so long? Matter of fact, let me come get her. My daughter doesn't tell me no. I'm like, just checking. But it's just,
It's a difference.
man, Dr. Spencer, it is such a blessing to step outside of where you come from.
Yeah.
And to be a catalyst for your family. When people said that our marriage would be a marriage people looked up to, I couldn't see it because I never saw that sense of marriage. My parents were married 20-something years, and I saw my father treat my mom in so many ways.
Yeah.
So I tell people I didn't want to get married.
Wow.
The marriage was not anywhere on my radar.
Honey, no, I had to break up with him, y'all. I'm serious. We had a conversation. So it was, I got to break it down to you.
Break it down.
I mean,
Family reunion weekend, okay? I have a conversation with him about where's this relationship going. Because I know I want to be married again.
Okay.
I know I want to be married again. You know what? He told me marriage is just a lost cause.
Oh.
It's for hopeless romantics.
Oh my.
Yes, he did. I called Uncle Clovis and Aunt Tish.
I was scared.
And I cried my eyes out. And this is the thing, I had already driven from Memphis to Meridian for the reunion. Okay? I didn't attend not one event that weekend. Because I said, you know what? If this isn't going anywhere, we're wasting our time. We've been doing this for 2 years now. I'm good. When he said that, I was like, oh, this dude got some stuff that he got to heal from. And I mean, I wasn't no bad. I ain't gonna even lie. I was like, okay, so let me see what I'm about to go do. You know, who I'm about to call. Let's just be real.
And I was afraid because I knew there were things that she was struggling with. And I didn't want to let her know that I'm thinking about marrying you, but I didn't want to say that.
Why?
It's almost like you're not showing your hand too quick. Because I really want to make sure that there's everything that you need to fix. I know I have things that I need to fix and fears, but I want to make sure that you were good. And I kept asking the same questions. And, you know, lo and behold, everything that I wanted to know was true. And so, you know, it was things she had to work through that she was not proud of. And this is what I always tell people, and couples hear me on this. I always told my wife, give me the opportunity to choose you. Just don't, if I ask you something, tell me the truth. Allow me to decide whether I want to deal with you or not.
Yeah.
And when you don't do that, and then it comes out
Later.
once you've made a permanent decision, like marriage, it's like,
Why didn't you tell me? Now I got to work through these
yes.
feelings.
So those were my feelings. It was fear, it was caution, it was pride, ego, all that stuff wrapped into one.
Doc, you just said something. You said, give me the opportunity to choose you. You gotta break that down some more. That's heavy, man.
Well, I ain't gonna say that joke.
Why you gonna tell the joke, Joaquin?
It's just, yeah.
Come on, you're my friend. You can tell the joke.
We just gonna go right to
Look, would I say too far? Or would I say
far.
pineapples?
pineapple.
Pineapples.
Okay.
That's our word.
All right, we got you.
Think about this. If I ask you, hey, how many people have you slept with? Men are gonna ask that question, women. We want to know. Don't lie to me. If you say 5, 10, 20, give me the opportunity to.
So you want to know the body count?
Look,
I want to know the body, because this is what I told her.
I told him
said,
11.
I said, first of all, I knew 11 was
He knew
a
I was
field
lying.
because at the time I met her, she had been proposed to 10 times.
So what's it got to do with choosing? What's it got to do with give me the opportunity to choose you? So break that down.
Well, for one, we're built to conquer,
Okay.
be number one.
Yeah.
And if we don't know what we're competing against, we can't be number one. Give me the opportunity to prove who I am and can be for you. Just don't lie, and then I have to work something out, and I'm competing against false
Somebody else.
senses of, and it's really not. You're really competing with yourself.
Yeah.
And this person. But let me know what I'm up against. Let me know what I have to work toward to show you that I'm value for you, so you don't feel like you have to go back to anything.
So that hence the question: how many men have you been with?
Oh yes, yes,
So,
and in a sense, because this is what I told my wife: be real with people, men and women. I said, no matter what your count is, I guarantee you ain't got me beat.
That's right.
So I can't be judgmental toward who you
That
have.
part. That
I'm not gonna
part.
be judgmental toward you and tell you I can't.
That
Because
part.
when the question comes back, my answer was always more than one, less than a million. That's my answer.
Oh my God! Now listen, let's dig in on this a little bit. This is very intriguing to me because we say we want to know that number. I don't think we really want to know.
We don't.
But on the other side of that coin, I like what Drake said. Drake says all them other guys is just practice.
That's it.
Because there's something different when you meet your soulmate, right?
Totally different.
There is an exchange and a vulnerability that's different from just physical sex. And for me, this is my soulmate. So it doesn't matter what her body count is, it's small. It doesn't matter what her body count is because once she said I do to me, she became mine, right? And I think we have to get over this double standard that we have in our community where men can go sow their wild oats.
And a woman got
And the woman got to be chaste, got to be a virgin, got to have a chastity belt.
Right.
That's not fair.
No, not at all.
It's not fair. And so I think that what happens in marriage, from my perspective, what should happen is that the two should become one. For this reason, man should leave and cleave. And that cleaving process is what makes the marriage really special. Instead of us always feeling insecure about how many people have you been with, that's the past. This is the present. Let's make the most out of this present moment. Let's learn from our mistakes and let's take all the good stuff and make this a marriage we both can be proud of.
Yes.
And it's more of us belonging to each other,
Yes.
not one person having ownership per se
Yep.
over the other person. And plus, you're growing in the dating realm. You're learning each other. You're learning what you want to deal with, what you don't want to deal with, past, present, and future.
Yeah.
So you said something though. You said it's not about ownership. So when we make love and I say, whose is it? And you say it's mine, that's ownership, ain't it? Don't do her like that. Whose is is it?
It sure is
Ownership.
I love it.
But I know, I get what you're saying.
Okay.
But you know, the scripture tells us, it says that the husband's body does not belong to him.
Right.
And the wife's body does not belong to her. There's a mutual ownership.
Yes,
Exactly.
it is.
Would y'all agree?
I totally agree.
Totally agree. You become that unit. You become one under that covenant.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. And when Joaquin talks about give me an opportunity to choose you, I mean, I know firsthand what he means by that. My past does not dictate my future, okay? Because I have an opportunity to choose to heal from that and not to allow that to dictate how this marriage will go forth, how it will end, or any of that. And that was my mistake in my other two marriages. Hence us being blended and winning now is simply because, I mean, I didn't want to tell Joaquin I was horrible with finances while we were dating. I didn't want to tell him that.
She didn't have to tell me.
He saw it. You know, I had to eventually tell him I don't do yards, but hey, baby, I told him I don't mow yards. I don't do that. And he was like, if you expect me to do it, you're gonna show me that you at least want to try. You know, there were things like that I didn't want to reveal to him because I thought he would see me differently.
Yeah.
And just like you said, you know, that body count, we shouldn't be judged by how many we have or how many that you've had, because all of that goes out the window. A man and a woman will change for that person that does something in and through them. That they can see themselves growing with, that they can see themselves truly evolving with, and they are truly one and being able to be exactly who they are.
Yes.
For a very long time, I presented myself as put together. Like, oh, I'm all put together, I'm this, I'm that. And he used to always tell me, I'm gonna need you to kind of like calm down on that. I'm gonna need you to loosen up a little bit.
Wow.
He allowed me to be me. Like I tell people all the time, knowing us 15 years ago,
20.
knowing us 20 years ago, you see a totally different Stacy than you see Stacy right now, because he allows me to be me, to be who I am. When people see us on social media,
That's us.
that's us.
Yeah. I
That's
used
just
to-
who we are.
I used to pray. I said, God, just allow her to just to let loose, just be herself. And when she finally let loose, I was like, God, pull her back a little bit. I know what I asked for, but that's just too much.
No, it's
Too much.
yeah.
I think, namesake, we had the same problem. My wife is always trying to pull me back. She's like, boy, you're saying too much. Oh, but listen,
Baby, that's it.
this is great conversation, y'all. This is great conversation. And I want to move into part 2 of our discussion. So we're going to pause right here because this is so rich. It's so rich. I've been waiting to meet these folk, and it's been worth the wait. And I want you all to get the meat of what it is we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about why do you need CPR for your marriage? And that's something you guys specialize in. You're going to bring it to us in Memphis, May the 19th. We're going to have a date night. We're going to have a smooth jazz. Pat Register's going to be there. We're going to have some food that Friday night. And then Saturday, they're coming to Memphis to teach us on why and how to do CPR for your marriage. So I need y'all to stick around, because our next podcast, our next episode, the Lopers are going to talk to us about why CPR is necessary for your marriage. But tonight was amazing. They helped us tonight to talk about being blended and winning. And I know there's a lot of married couples out there that have blended marriages, and so this was important.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's very important to have CPR for your marriage. And when I'm thinking about, you know, the respiratory and how you place your hand on it's like kick-starting.
Yes.
You know, the heart, pumping it back into life. And so I'm excited for that.
I'm excited. So part 2, y'all look at the camera and say part 2.
Part two.
Stay tuned, it's coming at you. We'll see you in a minute.
Just takes a little effort, we can work it out. These things go hand in hand, know what I'm talking about. Can we have one without the other, one without the other, yeah. One without the other, one without the other, yeah. We made it through the test, strengthening love and sex. We made it through the test,